I want you to imagine that it is back in early 2014, after 3.5 years of homelessness, where we've been running the Hackney Pirates from temporary spaces, we finally have the home of our dreams. It is to become an inspirational and magical and fantastical place for young people to learn in. The new space is being designed by 2 wildly talented volunteer artists who have the vision to turn the entire building into a ship. Unfortunately, due to a range of obstacles, the project is running 4 months late. Our shoestring budget is at absolute breaking point. Everyone is exhausted. We're teaching children from a temporary lock-up shop up the road with a cupboard as an office, and there is absolutely no time to lose. A really key idea from the beginning has been a secret passageway that will run from the entrance area of the building. Only the children will know about it. It's the one thing that we've agreed on since the start. A couple of days into the design project, the artists pull me aside for a quiet word. I'm afraid we don't believe in the secret passageway anymore. What do you mean you don't believe in the secret passageway? Well, it doesn't have a meaning. What? It doesn't have a function. It doesn't go anywhere. Its function is to be secret and to be a passageway. You can't see it, it's hidden from view, you don't think it's there, but then it is, you go through it. Secret passageway, hey presto, everyone happy. We can't build something we don't believe in. I have no time, and I feel like weeping and screaming. But I realize that if the designers are unhappy and can't complete the project, then we've got a real disaster on my hands. So I drop everything and we sit down and proceed to have a deeply philosophical discussion about the underlying conceptual meaning of a secret passageway. My desperate attempts to persuade them that it's as simple as putting a secret hole in the wall are blinked away with sighs and shaking heads. How frustrating and ridiculous. My desperate and exhausted attempts to persuade them that I need to get the project finished seem to have come into total conflict with their perspective on meaning and authenticity. The thing is, they were right. The secret passageway did need to be redesigned, to have a real reason for the children to use it, rather than just experience a gimmick. It just took us a painful while to figure that out. It became a centerpiece of our final project, a way from the children to get from the entrance area to the rest of the building, going via a peephole through Blackbeard's gaze. It's all part of our ship of adventures. This is the deck. Yes. Complete with a flying boat and a magic telephone. If you're in need of some inspiration, take some time by the beach in the ideas room, or you can take some time for reflection up in the navigator's office. If you go underwater, you'll find yourself in the deep. Now, it's easy to be flippant about the importance of the ship, but I would bet my bottom dollar that in 50 years' time, there will be a small generation of young people in Hackney who look back with misty-eyed fondness on that secret passageway as one of the most exciting things that they connect with a learning experience. Over the years, I've come to realize that the initial conflict and successful resolution of that design problem is itself part of the story of what makes successful learning experiences. We succeeded because we did the hard work of incorporating conflicting perspectives in order to come up with a great solution. We needed to go through the difficulty and effort of changing our minds and switching perspectives in order to come to a conclusion. I think that skill, the ability to switch between different perspectives, to play different roles, even within one activity, is a vital skill that children are going to need to learn. And I think we need to take that approach a lot more in education. I'm a secondary school teacher by background, and I now run an organisation called the Hackney Pirates, set up in 2011, focusing specifically on children who are falling behind and who have fewer opportunities in their personal circumstances. We work in after-school and holiday sessions, developing literacy, confidence, and perseverance, believing that those 3 are really critical underlying learning skills. Now, I'm going to introduce you to a few figures who we've used at the Hackney Pirates to incorporate that perspective that I was telling you about. Meet Captain Splurge. She's Captain Splurge. So as you can see, Captain Splurge is the ideas woman. She's not stressed by getting it right first time. She can put down a few ideas and see which is best. She knows that her first version will include some mistakes, and that's okay. We need children to be comfortable with this identity if they're going to retain confidence in their ideas and if they're going to eventually meet the needs of their future bosses who want to see creativity and initiative. In order to make space for Captain Splurge, we've got to have a lot of fun. We've got to meet people who have done crazy and imaginative things, like the guest who went to the Arctic, or when we met the man who had a whale fall on him. We've got to give children an open brief so that they keep coming up with their own ideas. It might help if we played a game of Funky Chicken. But the thing is, Captain Splurge isn't great on her own. To make her work really great, she needs some help from her friend here, the Refined Admiral. As you can see, the Refined Admiral is ready to be selective about the initial ideas. He's ready to maybe rewrite some sections that don't make sense, look over his spelling, check his grammar, make sure that he's showing off his own work to best effect. In order to make sure that the Refined Admiral can get his job done, we've got to meet people who remind us of how important working hard was to their success. We've got to have the experience of our work getting better over time the more we work on it. We've got to have practice of managing our own tiredness and frustration when we feel like giving up. Both of these stages are vital, and zoning in too much on either, telling children either that it's all about creativity or that it's all about a correct piece of writing, is cutting them off from a vital aspect of success. Using this approach, we've run dozens of writing projects, including our very own book of correspondence celebrating the lost art of letter writing, or making videos, motivational videos to inspire lazy grown-ups, or our very own Hackney Pirate radio. The ability to switch between different perspectives and to play different roles is an absolutely important one. When you're working with children who are feeling disillusioned about learning, having fun and engaging them really do matter. But we can't just do that bit. We can't just inspire them. We have to do the hard bit too. Now, we created these characters to help with writing, but I think the basic principle applies more broadly, and that's just as true for us grown-ups. We have to run the rest of this talk. Using this approach, we've run a range of different types of projects, and I'm going to tell you about one of those from the experience of young people at the Hackney Pirates. So one project that we did, the first thing that they did was meet some real-life circus artists to see the amazing skills that they had learnt and to hear about what it was like to do their job. Then they worked with local volunteers in order to write their very own circus monologues, to bring those characters to life however they saw fit, and with somebody there to encourage them all the way through the process. Then our literacy teachers worked with the children to teach them the strategies that they would need to make their writing even better, making sure to draw on all of the lessons that children have learnt at school from their English teachers. We teachers are often trying to be the circus artists and the grammar specialists all at the same time. I think there are more resources out there and more approaches that could work if we're able to take advantage of them. The interesting thing for us is how very different types of people have responded to our learning model. We have head teachers telling us it's really the solid focus on evidence-based literacy strategies that works. And it does, but the children are sitting on an octopus tentacle. And we've got volunteers telling us it's really all about giving children a voice. And we do, but we also really care about spelling. What we have tried to do is create a place where different visions of education can exist. Our success as educators will rest on our ability to share those very skills with young people themselves, to shapeshift between different perspectives, to meet very different expectations of us, to get something constructive out of a conversation with someone very different or someone we disagree with, to sometimes be Captain Splurge and sometimes be the Refined Admiral with our own ideas. This matters for a very important reason. In our current system, some children are still failing and are still being failed. The benefits and the opportunities of education are being experienced unequally depending on where you are and who you are. And like many others, we think that's not fair. If we're going to rise to the challenge to make the next step of improvements to our education system, to reach those who it's currently not benefiting, we cannot afford to lose any perspectives. We have to assume we don't know all of the answers. There are still a lot of secret passageways that need building. We have to be silly. We have to be serious. and we don't need to choose. Thank you very much.